The Dallas Cowboys get back on the field today, or the practice field, I should say, in about 2 hours as they get ready for the Las Vegas Raiders on Monday night. A big game after their bye week and a tragic week, too. I want to bring in our Cowboys expert, Locked On Cowboys podcast host, Landon McCool. Landon, thank you for joining us this week. Now, before we get to the X's and O's, though, the Cowboys player lost Marshawn Kneeland to suicide last week, and you were around him at training camp. Your thoughts on him and the mood of the team right now, whatever you're able to share.
Yeah, I mean, all I remember about him is that he had a really infectious smile. I was able to be around him on the field for a couple of different media scrums when he was being interviewed, and these are at post practice, post training camp practice interviews when they're on the field. They're still in the uniform. They're beat up. They're tired, and I just remember him having a very light, fun, happy, big smile all the time. Was taking everything with a grain of salt, having a good time. And it sounds like that's what's being echoed by everyone who knew him too, is that he had a light demeanor. He was fun to be around. He always had a big smile, which, it makes this situation all the more horrible. And it's just a sad reminder of how important mental health is. And as far as the team goes, I think the Cowboys have, I think, done a really good job of supporting the team, of the players specifically. And I'll add that I think Brian Schottenheimer specifically has done a great job of kind of shepherding them through this. They provided a great support system for the players, as well as Catalina, who is Marshawn's girlfriend's family. They've had Heather Tidwell, who's Cowboys health and wellness consultant. They have O2X human performance and NFL counselors come in. So they're doing everything they can to kind of support the players to kind of help get through, which is obviously a terrible situation.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Landon. And on that note of what you just said, the Cowboys are planning a number of tributes to Marshawn and at this game and the home game the week after. What can you tell us about those? Anything you know?
Yeah, I know that they are designing a helmet decal that they're going to wear the rest of the season. This is something that the team themselves, or at least the players in the team, designed. So I'm sure we'll get that on Monday to see. They are going to be wearing a special kind of pregame T-shirt that's dedicated to Marshawn Kneeland. I'm sure all the players will be wearing it in all the pregame packages that we see for Monday Night Football. They definitely are going to have a special video tribute and a moment of silence. We saw that kind of all throughout the NFL and in games last Sunday. The Cowboys were on a bye week, but all across the NFL teams were taking a moment of silence for Marshawn Kneeland, which was wonderful. And then on top of that, Kneeland's family has also set up a memorial fund to benefit Catalina Mancera, who is, like I said, Marshawn's girlfriend and their unborn child. It sounds like the fund will also get a lot of support from the Cowboys as well.
And we'll shift a little bit into the game itself now, Landon. Dak Prescott is a leader on the team, of course, and the fight for mental health. What is he saying about this coming game?
Yeah, I mean, I think most of his talk has been kind of echoing a lot of what you've heard from Schottenheimer. I keep hearing the phrase, "We don't move on, but we do move forward," and I think that that's kind of the sentiment that they're taking, is that they aren't going to get over this. This is not something that's just going to go away with a certain amount of talk. This is something that's going to be with them. It's about taking the grief and moving forward with it. Another person who's been a really key part of this is Solomon Thomas, who is a free agent signing that we got this year for defensive tackle, who's actually a local guy from Dallas. He also supports a fund that helps with mental health and prevents suicide as well, and he's also been a big leader in kind of just getting the locker room through, like I said, a very incredibly difficult time.
Sure, I think it's fair to say that the Cowboys will be getting onto the field this weekend, fighting for something so much bigger than themselves. Now, the Raiders have a new coach this season, Pete Carroll. What are you seeing from him with Las Vegas and how they plan to take on the Cowboys?
Yeah, there was a lot of excitement coming into the year about the plan for the Raiders, right? They brought in Pete Carroll, who obviously had a ton of success in Seattle. They brought in Chip Kelly, who had been in the NFL previously, but had just gotten off winning a national championship with the Ohio State Buckeyes as their offensive coordinator. They were able to draft a hot young running back early in the first round, but it just hasn't quite worked out for the Raiders the way they wanted. I think their offensive line has been a big problem, and it kind of disrupted things. And Geno Smith, who had a real career resurgence these last few years previously in Seattle, it's really kind of come down to earth, I think, under all the pressure that he's been facing with the kind of compromised offensive line. So it's been a struggle for the Raiders. It's definitely not been what they've expected. Their backs are to the wall, and Pete Carroll's 74 years old, so it's not like they had a plan for a long rebuild. They were expecting to win right away, and it hasn't quite worked out like that.
All right, Landon, what are your 3 keys to this game?
Well, the one thing that unfortunately we didn't get enough to talk about is the fact that the Cowboys defense is going to face a pretty serious overhaul. I mean, obviously they traded for Quinnen Williams, Logan Wilson as well, but they also are getting DeMarvion Overshown back, a couple other key players, including Malik Hooker back. So seeing an improved defense has got to be line one, just because it's been so terrible. But then on top of that, I also think that the Cowboys need to get their passing game back on track. So that would be key too. And then the key thing I think that they need, not only for this game but also moving forward, is they have got to re-find the magic they had in the running game. They were doing such a great job early in the season, being very efficient. And if they're going to play this next brutal schedule of teams that they have, I think it's the Eagles, the Chiefs, and the Lions. They have got to find a way to run the football effectively and get that back on track.
You know, Landon, I think a lot of Cowboys fans agree with you. Thank you for joining us on this midday. Always good to have you with us.
Thank you.
All right, don't miss Landon and his co-host Marcus on their daily Locked On Cowboys podcast. You can also catch the newest episode today at 1 p.m. on our streaming app. That's WFAA Plus. And if you don't have it yet, download it on your TV for free. Our call-in show is back on Monday as well. After a week off for the bye week, we'll be giving you all the latest news and notes and getting your take ahead of Monday night's Cowboys-Raiders showdown. That's at 11:30 right here after midday.